All right, this is the gaming review section where we talk about the games we are playing. Um, so I was gone this weekend, so I actually didn't play anything. But during the week, I was. But first, what have you been playing?
Well, gaming wise, I have been playing Final
Obviously,
Fantasy.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, obviously Spider-Man Endless Run. I am a little like I wake up and you know how like you're kind of groggy in the morning. Like my
Yeah.
morning routine is like I wake up and I grab my phone and I go on a little spider run, little spider run. Try and break into that top five, get the grand prize. Then I get ready for my day. But
Yeah.
as far as the
Yeah.
normal games, I've been playing. I play a little Guild Wars 2 with JT. The game is still a mess. I don't know. I just don't. It's such a mess. Like the combat in that game is just ridiculous. There's so much stuff happening, and you're just running around trying not to step in the circles that are bad. It's just not fun. I don't know why JT likes that game, but he wanted me to play some of the new content. You know they have that weekly expansions that come out, like the weekly adventure content that comes out,
I
which
didn't
is
hear about that.
laudable. Yeah, they've got like every couple of weeks they'll have like a new event, like a new adventure to go on. So you never run out of content. You're always going on this story. And so like me and Tim and JT, we got online, we fought like a dragon, and this whole big quest chain to get up to it. But it just I never had any fun in the combat. Like it's a beautiful game, but the combat is just a mess. It's so that and the inventory system. I don't know why a game that wants you to like have 180 different kinds of crafting materials to use as currencies for all these different kinds of high level gear will not give you any storage space. You have like 16 slots in your bank, and so I just like I never have any. I hate inventory management games. Listen up, guys. Final Fantasy VI on the Super Nintendo, you could just have 99 of every item and it was fine. You never ran out of space. Why is it realism? Is it immersion? Like stop. It's not fun. I don't like having to like clear out my inventory every time I find a new thing on the ground to pick up.
Yeah, and why is that?
It's
Like,
just
why do you think that is?
well, with Guild Wars 2, it's because they want you to spend more money on the $50 game you already bought to buy storage slots in your bank because they have the real world currency you can buy things. But it's
Right.
not fun. It's not fun. And it's not just that. Like Dragon Age, every modern RPG has this like inventory management mini game that just makes me so angry. Makes
No,
me
it's
not want to
fucking
play the game
stupid.
anymore.
Because okay, the problem is okay. So we like to accumulate shit. We like to hoard stuff, right? Like
Mm.
everybody feels pretty good when you buy something, and then you got to keep it. And people get pretty upset when you don't. Like when people are like, "Well, I bought the game online. Apparently, I don't even get to keep it." And I'm like, "Yeah, see, people, even though you know you're never gonna play a game again, like knowing that it's in your Steam library technically, and you can re-download it, it perseveres it. Like it makes it worth the dollars you're spending on it."
Right, and on MMOs, I end up like the people on Hoarders, like I'm a TLC show waiting to happen because I want to have, I'm probably never going to craft any of that stuff that I'm saving things for, but I want to know it's there if I want it.
Yeah, and there's two ways to address that. Like they do the inventory management because they're like, oh well, that way you can't just run through and get everything, and there's actually like a feeling of scarcity of resources, right? The scarcity of resources being like the driving factor to keep you playing. That's one way to address it. Another way would be like have like maybe mysterious items, or you have to put like maybe six wool cloths together and one gold weave and one like stone to make one ether particle, and you need 12 ether particles to create a certain blade. You know what I mean? Like, have it so that you can have a lot of that stuff, and it's still valuable, but only in large quantities or something like that. Like, you don't need to approach it by the inventory management. I hate that thing.
Yeah,
I
I
hate
don't
that.
mind. I don't mind having to like earn like equipment to having to grind up materials for gear. Like that's fine, whatever. That's part of it, whatever. But just put it in a menu. Like, just say like, okay, this is your crafting menu. Every time you find crafting materials, they go up here, and there's no storage. It doesn't take up spots that your potions and your extra weapons are supposed to take up in your backpack or in your bank. Like, just make that a whole separate subsystem and not make me have to deal with it. Because I hate that. It is
Oh,
the worst. It just kills the game for me.
especially in MMOs. Yeah, in MMOs, I was gonna say, like in MMOs especially, like you're grinding. Okay, first of all, the gameplay in MMOs is not really fun anyway. Everyone kind of knows that. That's not where you come. You don't come to. They call it literally. I'm gonna go grind out a few levels.
Right.
You don't talk about that in like Heroes. I'm not like, well, I guess I do if I'm doing experience, but if I'm gonna play like co-op. But that's not the point of the game. Nobody says like, I'm gonna go grind some checkers real quick. No, I mean you go play the game because it's fun or it's not. And the same thing here, like don't. It's already bad. It's already not fun. But to make it stop being not fun, to fly back to the capital or Hearthback, sell some dumb shit or put it in your bank, and then fly back out there, that's ridiculous. Like you're killing your own content. But that's just, I think we could have a whole thing about the future of MMOs. But in games in general, like Dragon Age Inquisition or whatever, don't
Yeah,
fucking do that. Like
stop. Just
it,
stop doing it.
they have this idea like okay, so in Deus Ex, remember that there was inventory management.
Yeah, and that one it kind of made sense because you were like, do you want to carry a bazooka? Okay, you'll have to make a sacrifice. Like it was a meaningful choice that you're making
Yeah.
for your character. But this like, because I was talking to GT about it, and he's like, oh, it's for immersion. I'm like, no bullshit. There's no way I can carry like as much stuff as I'm carrying and still be an adventure, and it just all magically disappears in these pouches. And like Guild Wars is especially bad for it because every time you do anything, like those events that pop up randomly, anytime anything happens, this little like treasure box will appear in the corner of your screen, and you click on it, and there's like bag full of prizes, bag full of surprises, loot bag, and you'll put those in your inventory, but you can't open them because if you open them, you have to empty them out, and there's no room in your inventory. So I've got this like inception of bags in my bags in my bags, and they're all invisible. So don't tell me it's immersion. That's
Like
not.
bags of holding.
Yeah, it's not immersion. It's just stupid.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like in games in general, we do suspension of disbelief a lot, and inventory is one of those. Like nobody can fuck. And like there's countless jokes about that, like dorkly articles or whatever, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh look, here's a real person. That was even on MythBusters. I don't know if you saw that. They said, can a Doom, the Doom
Yeah,
Space
the
Marine guy,
Marine carry all the weapons. I saw that.
yeah, can he carry all the weapons? Exactly. Like we fucking know it's not realistic, of course.
Yeah.
And like
And if you want to be realistic, give me a storage unit or a house where I can just dump all my shit and it can pile up there between missions. Don't give me a bank with 16 slots and then like expect me to be able to manage my inventory. I'm so mad about Guild Wars 2 just thinking about that system.
Ugh, it's such an annoyance. And if you annoy people because you're like, oh, they'll unlock the extra slots in their inventory, or not, or maybe they'll just play casually and then they'll put the game down. Guess what happens if you don't have? Remember, free to play models work because of all the players, and then you get the couple whales who spend all the money on it. Like it's a small percentage,
Yeah,
but
it's like
you need all
5%.
those players. You need all those players, and you're chasing them away with a dumb inventory management bullshit. But what do I know? It's not like I study the effects of video games. Anyway, whatever. They need to give me a job. I'll get them back on their track.
Yeah.
Oh well. They can do all their amazing artwork and cool content, and I'll just worry about getting people to play the game and keep playing the game. Not that, they're gonna do that. But people are starting to figure it out. I think people are starting to figure out that psychology is actually a thing. Hopefully that trend continues.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So with me, I played Game of Thrones, the second installment by Telltale. Did you finish
Okay.
that?
Yeah, I just finished it this morning.
How do you feel right now?
That game. Okay, so it's been out for a couple days, and I just could not
Yeah.
bring myself to play it because I just was not in the emotional state. I was like, oh, it's been a long week. I just want to relax. I don't want to be all stressed out and sad for like 4 hours. So like, I put it off all weekend, and then this morning I finally was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna buckle down and play this. It's so stressful. I get so much anxiety because I know every single little minutia, like anything could spell certain doom for me and my loved ones. So like,
Yeah.
like even like a seemingly innocent scene, like you're talking to your fiance and you're trying to make sure the wedding's still on. I'm just like, every single choice is so important in this conversation.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. And you're all shitty. You look all shitty. And
Yeah,
you're like,
you're
who you are, you're just fucking horrible. And the only like good-looking character in the game is you're a girl in King's Landing with no name of note. So you may look okay, but you're next to like Marjorie Tyrell, who's a princess.
Yeah, and
soon to be queen.
you're in way over your head, like so over
Yeah.
your head.
So it doesn't fucking matter. Your looks aren't gonna get you shit. Like it's just, oh man, that game.
Yeah, even
Just afterwards.
Even like
Ugh.
even like the one person who you want to trust, you're like, Tyrion Lannister, everyone loves him. He's the imp, and even him, you're just like, I guess I don't know. I feel like he's gonna fuck me over somehow too. Like, I'm so nervous. Like it's a very stressful game to play. I enjoyed it though. It was especially that ending with the music that they wrote for that scene.
Oh yeah, dude, I almost had some feels there, man.
That was a Reigns of Casterly Rock kind of moment for me.
Yeah, that was insane. And everything in there. There's no time you meet someone new and you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. This person's gonna help me. No, you're like, oh, fuck, someone else to consider. This sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
and because it's a Telltale Games, like every time you meet like two people, you're like, oh, okay, they're gonna make me choose which one of these people to side up against whoever else.
Yeah.
You're trying to like weigh their pros and cons already. Like at the wall, you're like, oh, do I go for this guy or this guy? Well, he's kind of sneaky, and this guy's kind of a bully. I don't know. Like it's a mess. It's a mess, and I didn't make all the wisest decisions, but I made some very satisfying ones. To avoid spoilers, I think we'll have to talk about it off the air, but
Me too.
I felt solid about the decisions I did make, even though they might not have been the best ones.
I was concerned because this one was a little sloppy. Like at the end, everything I decided pretty much was like it would be like 80 something percent of people chose this, and you know, or
Yeah,
it'd be
mine
like
was like
100%.
91.6% of people did this.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh come on, Telltale, don't phone this one in. Like maybe they've surely have seen Game of Thrones. I was gonna say if you haven't seen the show, like maybe that's it. Because if you just read the books, maybe you don't understand that everyone loves Tyrion.
No,
You
they're
know,
actually
and just
collaborating with HBO, so they've definitely seen the show.
yeah. See, so like there's some decisions where I was like, well, I can't not fucking do that, and so I did that, right? Whatever it was. And there's just a bunch of those moments. I was like, come on, like you can't.
I think though we
Yeah, I
have to
don't know.
consider that this is the second episode. Like they're mostly trying to get the wheels in motion for the main story right now, so it's going to be less like nuanced storytelling and more like, okay, we're getting everybody moving on their little side quests, and then it's going to come to a head. So I think that might just be part of the fact that this was episode 2 and a 5-parter.
Oh man, I'm really curious about one of your decisions. I'm gonna have to ask. Um, well, a few of them, but one in particular I just now thought of when you said that. Anyway, overall, dude, I love this game. I don't get quite as stressed because I tend to, I guess, kind of pull back and like metagame it or something. I don't know, because I'm like, well, they're not gonna do that, so obviously this, like, you know, like Tyrion might screw me, but if it is, it's gonna be in a gentlemanly way and whatever. After playing like Walking Dead, like I think I've got enough of Telltale's thing that I just don't see it as dire. I'm like, if this comes back and bites me, it's an artifact of the system because they'll make you say things like, hey, could you go and get some water for me? And you're like. One of your options is like sure, another one's like no thanks, or another one's like ... or something. And you're like okay, sure, and they're like now you promise you'll do that, and you're like god damn it, Telltale, come on, no one asks that because they know they're trying to catch you.
Yeah.
So you go down to get it, and of course you know something happens, and then they get upset at you if you said yes, and if you didn't, then you're fine.
Then,
I'm like, oh,
then it's like so and so will remember that ... And you're like, ah, come on.
there's so many times where I did it perfectly, and you still get fucked. That happened in this episode. Like I did everything perfectly, and she was like, at the end, she was like, "Yeah, still fuck you." And I was like, "God damn it! What the hell? I did everything right." But so they kind of, you know, I just feel like that. I guess I've played too many Telltale games now, and or, that's not it, because you play too. I feel like I'm like whatever. I'm like jaded. I just kind of click whatever, and
I'm very invested in the story, and I tend to like put myself into the shoes of the characters I'm playing a lot. So I'm just like, no, especially after the last episode, I'm just like very wary, very wary about any decisions because
well, I really care about the Foresters, but the whole the Red Keep section. I'm just like, whatever. I'm gonna get fucked. I don't care. Like, you know, I can't do anything. And if I do something, who the fuck cares?
King's
Like,
Landing.
I just feel so impotent there that whatever I click, I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm fucked. Like, I'm so burnt on them.
I really need to play. They needed episode 2 for Tales of the Borderlands to come out. I need to cleanse my palate.
Yeah, jeez. When does season 3 of The Walking Dead come out?
No idea.
I don't even want to touch that yet. And I'm gonna wait until. I should just save up my Tales of the Borderland, play all the Game of Thrones, play all of Tales of the Borderland, and then play some Walking Dead because I don't think I can handle a lot of that.
I need like a little slice of Tales from the Borderland after every Game of Thrones episode just to get me like rejuvenized.
Like an aperitif or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little sorbet between brutal torture meals.
that broke down quickly. It's kind of like, oh man. But anyway, I highly recommend it though. I love that game. Probably a lot of people that listen are Game of Thrones fans, and if you are, get the game. And you can get on your, I guess you can get on your iPhone now, on your Android devices.
Yeah, and the great thing about these kind of games is they actually play well on iOS game systems, so you don't have to worry about like, oh no, like a lot of games it's hard to play on a phone, but this is not one of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, can you imagine playing this on the phone? Like you have to like turn it off every once in a while and like do some shit and then come back and I don't know. It feels like it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah, no, but as far as like mechanics go, it's a lot easier than playing Street Fighter on your phone.
Yes, I was playing Punch Out on my phone and getting very frustrated. I was like,
did you see somebody hooked up a Kinect to play Punch Out with, like the NES Punch Out?
No.
Yeah, like they got it to work where like you could box and Little Mac on the screen would box with you. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
That's sweet. Yeah, I love myself some Punch Out. But anyway, did you play any other games?
Yeah, Square Enix is having a publisher sale on Steam, so all their stuff is 50 to 80% off. And I was gonna pick up Final Fantasy 13, but it got really bad reviews, and I've kind of lost faith in that franchise after a certain amount of time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't know. Like Final Fantasy 12 was fun, but it's been a while since I've really enjoyed a Final Fantasy game.
Mm.
But that didn't stop me from getting Final Fantasy 4. They re-released it and gave it like a graphical overhaul with cutscenes and voice acting and just more modernized version of the SNES Classic. And that was like one of my very first RPGs. It's one of the things that got me into role-playing games. And I can barely remember the story, but I remember enjoying it. So I went back and picked that up, and it's a lot of fun. I went ahead and got Tim a late Christmas present of it too, because it's one of his favorite games of all time. So we've been playing that a lot, and it's totally fun. You might try it out. I know you didn't get into Final Fantasy VI, but that might be solved by the graphical updates that this one has. It's not so sprite based and feels a little bit more modern.
Okay. Maybe I'll give that a shot. It's not the Final Fantasy 6 didn't grab my attention. Yeah, I guess it is actually. Never mind. I was gonna say that there's competing games, but I got on my phone and I don't. I
This
started
one,
playing it. I was like, meh.
this one's got more of a Bravely Default look to it. That's kind of like they went from the sprites to like the Bravely Default character models, so it feels a little more newer. And the voice acting is actually pretty good, and the music's amazing. This is back when the Final Fantasy series had really great music.
There's voice acting.
Yeah, for the cutscenes.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So they gave it up an overhaul, and for $7 it was a good deal. So I'm playing that, revisiting old classics.
Not bad. Well, cool. All right, that's quite nice. I didn't get to play a whole lot this week. We had a lot of shit going on. Well, and then usually most of my gaming is done on the weekends, and I spent that without a computer or anything. Man, it was so weird. It was weird. I was legitimately bored for the first time in a long time because I checked like Facebook, Reddit. I waste so much time, and then like Twitter, and I was like, yep. I just kind of laid back and was like, I got nothing to do. Like it was just weird.
It's,
The internet's so slow where they live. Holy cow! Like it does. Even like checking like Reddit or something, you're kind of like, come on. So it gets so frustrating. You just put it down. And so I just sat outside for a long time. I was like, I'm just sitting outside.
alone
What's my
with your
life about?
thoughts? No.
What is this? Oh, I realize how distolerant I am nowadays or intolerant of I don't know, just boredom. I don't know how to alleviate it.
I can't remember the last time I was bored.
It's crazy, man.
I always feel like I've got way too many things that are fun to do. It's a very first world luxury problem.
Yeah, if anything, it's like a paralysis where you just kind of like surf Facebook because you have no idea what to do. I'm like, I don't want to commit to a game of heroes, and if I get started on Final Fantasy whatever, then I'm fucked.
I actually spent most of this week not playing video games, but I was binge watching a Netflix exclusive anime series called Knights of Sidonia. Have you heard of that one?
No, is it good?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's one season long, but it's got really tight pacing. Like it doesn't kind of get mired down like a lot of animes do, and it's a kind of a gritty sci-fi. Like it's do you remember how when Star Wars came out, one of the cool things about it was like the planes were all scuffed and like the helmets were scuffed, everything looked lived in. Like that's what this world looks like. Everything looks very lived in, and it's got like an interesting world, like an interesting setting that they kind of reveal over the course of like just random tidbits they'll drop in everyday conversation, like, oh yeah, I guess you don't know how to photosynthesize. You're like, wait, humans can photosynthesize now? Like stuff like that. They'll just like drop little clues in about the world, and you kind of learn about the backstory as it goes.
It's like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, it's
cool.
I don't know if it's like one of my favorites, but it was really fun to watch. Like I just got in. It's a mech fighting. They fight these weird, horrible aliens out in space called Ghana that like shoot out tentacles and just rip your mechs apart. So it's just kind of fun to watch those battles. Yeah, always tentacles. But yeah, spent most of my week watching Knights of Sidonia and got through the whole season of that.
Wow, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching some animes soon. Getting back on the track. I have 2 more episodes of Full Metal Alchemist, and I'm done. So I'm I do this where like I get to the end of something and then I won't finish it. Like I used to have this thing where I wouldn't do this, and I still do this sometimes, a lot actually. I'll get to the last bite of a sandwich and I won't eat it. I just set it down on the plate and I throw it away because like and I don't know why I did it subconsciously for a long time, but eventually I found out that it was because like once you're done, then you're done. Like I'd do a project up until the very end, and I would never finish it because once you do, it's like that's it. You cashed in. It's done.
Yeah.
And so like I kind of did a Full Metal Alchemist because I was like I don't want to be done with it. I don't want to be like, oh, that's something I did in the past, that Full Metal Alchemist, and I hope something else is as cool as that is. So I'm just sitting here with 2 down, and it's like the climax, the whole story, and you're like, yep, here it is, and you probably remember what's going on. and I'm like, oh, and I just don't. I won't watch it. It's weird. I'll sit down. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to finish it.
I get that
Fuck.
with video games sometimes, like with Bravely Default. I'm at the very end of the game, and then, well, I mean, that's partly not my fault because I loaned it to you, but like I hadn't made any advancements on that for like a couple weeks before I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, I don't want to finish it, but I kind of do, but also it's gonna be over, so we'll just
Yeah.
play a new game for it now.
There's like a meaningful transition when it goes from like the process you're doing right now and then something you did in the past. You know, it's like George R. R. Martin. I wonder if he thinks that sometimes. The last book, well, now the second to last book that he's writing, is he's like, that's it. Once I'm done with that, it's the end of an era. That's like, remember Game of Thrones, you know?
Yeah,
Instead of like,
he's already said that the HBO is gonna finish the story before he's gonna finish writing the books.
oh yeah, he's not even. They're not even going to talk about releasing this next book this year. They said there's not even talks for that. There's no plans whatsoever. And
Yeah.
then even if he finished in 2016, that'd be 6 years, which is what he did last time, and that means we wouldn't know what happens to the end of Westeros for another 6 years. That's 2022 before we know what's going on. So, whatever. Like he's gonna die. I just realized that. But anyway, but yeah, good. That's all the reviews I have. It's kind of a slow one for me this week. But what about you? Anything else?
I download Arcade. Have you seen that? It's like a
Yeah.
free-to-play MMO. It's kind of a sandboxy, almost like a Harvest Moon MMO, where you can just
Yeah.
like you can go through the typical. There's like a theme park style MMO, which is where like Vanilla WoW was, where you have quests and they take you to different zones, and it kind of like holds your hand through the process of leveling up to max level. And then there's a sandbox style MMO, and this one has both. Like you can go through quests and level up, or you can be like, you know what, I'm done with the quest. I'm gonna wander over here. Here's a good spot to build a house, and just start chopping down trees and like building a house and planting a garden and raising some animals. And maybe you build a ship, maybe you become a pirate. Like just do
Really?
whatever you want. Yeah, and you can level up that way too. Like everything you do gives you experience points. You can get to max level just being a turnip farmer or a fisherman or something. And the cool thing is there's no instanced areas, so if you build a house, like that's there for everybody that's playing the game on that server. They can all go and see your house. Or
Huh.
yeah. Or if like your ship sinks, like there's gonna be wreckage at the bottom of the ocean. People can like swim down there and check it out.
Wow. All right.
So yeah, I checked it out. I haven't played it very long yet. I just wanted to see what it was like.
We got. So whenever I posted this on Google Plus, it automatically posts whenever I get this episode, or whenever I'm making these episodes.
Mhm.
And I guess it asks people randomly, whoever's around or something, like if they're planning on attending. And I just got to know just now. It says Caitlin says no. I was like, who the fuck is Caitlin? I don't give a shit if you watch my show. Shut up. Don't tell me no.
No, not doing it.
But yeah. Well, cool. How was it?
It was like a Korean MMO, so it was very pretty. I think, like I said, I only played it for a couple hours, so I don't really know how all the world building and sandbox stuff plays out yet. But the reviews I've seen of it are pretty excited about that stuff. So I know JT's downloading it, so we'll check it out and see what's worth playing.
Yeah, tell me what you think. That'll be cool. Yeah. So anything else on your side then?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the in-depth analysis then.